how to train when you don't have any initial equipment for calisthenics. So I thought I'd do some simple beginner exercises to show you how you can set about on your journey to calisthenics safely and effectively without injuring yourself at the same time, which obviously you don't want to do. So to start things off, most people don't need the dip bar at the beginning because they don't have the sufficient strength in order to do the dips. What you can do is, if you get a chair like this, right, at a very simplest level, the closer your knees are towards you, right, the easier the exercise is, right? You go like that. You don't want to go down too far because your hands are slightly behind you. So you don't want to go lower than parallel, because if you do, that's likely to affect your shoulder joints adversely. Moving on from that, as that's very simple, putting your legs out in front is going to make it harder, right? So already you've got two progressions there. So these are very basic progressions before you would even need a dip bar. Okay, so those are some examples of exercises for the essentially for the triceps. The triceps come into the dips a lot. It will also exercise the front of the shoulders, the lower chest to some degree. Of course, there's push-ups, which I've shown you before. Put your hands like that, tight core, elbows in, put your chin to the floor, back up like that. Standard press-ups. These are all beginning exercises. You want to make sure that you've got a sufficient proportion of training from the front to the back, so that your body's in proportion. Now, I have weights, which you don't need, but you will need heavy books or something like that in order to keep the chairs from slipping. I'm just going to use weights for example's sake in this video, but as I say, heavy books would of course do the trick as well. And this is just simply to stop the chairs from moving. Another option, of course, would be to put one of the chairs against the wall, but that would probably still tilt anyway, regardless, because the weight of the chair you put to the back against the chair, you put the front against the chair. So I'm just going to put a couple of weights on there. So just get like a number of heavy books or anything you have. The heavier the better, really. You don't really want it to be slipping around. Obviously, if you move them to the front, that's going to create a heavier load. Hopefully should be enough. Alright, I'll move it forward so you can actually see what I'm doing. Right. Okay, so I think I've got this the wrong one around, you know. Actually, I've got this wrong here. How do I do this? Okay, you want it that way around. Okay. Right. Again, so we look at more modified dips. That's more like what you'd be doing if you're actually doing dips themselves, right? Again, easy version. So this is, again, it's still a pushing motion. Okay, I'm going to make this first video all about pushing. There are ways you can exercise your back, and these are strategies you'll also need to use, but just to keep it simple and start this off based solely on pushing exercises. And these are just what I've devised for my own back as I've been making the video. So you can see how adaptable calisthenics actually is in order to build up to the more advanced exercises. So what I'll do is I'll make another video shortly, and I'll show you how to exercise the back, which of course you need to be in proportion to the front to ensure that your physiology is balanced and you know, you're not prone to injury as a result. So yeah, if you've liked this content, please subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos. I'll be adding another video shortly looking at how to exercise the back just using basic equipment.